Yes, I'm co-host, but I can't.
Okay, we should be live in few seconds. It's loading.
I see it.
All right, there we go.
Oh, great job, everyone.
Yes, now we are live.
Perfect. Well, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today with Ms. Robiana Lung. We're really happy to have you here today for our information session. Ms. Lung is the Virtual English Language Fellow with the USA Department, and she's here working with our Education USA program to lead a virtual course on academic writing and SAT, ACT prep. That's going to start in October and run for 6 weeks. Ms. Long is here to tell us more information about the course and what to expect from it, and also what we expect to have throughout those 6 weeks. So without further ado, I was going to give the floor to her so she can lead us through the session. But in the meantime, I invite everybody to ask questions in the chat or on the comment section in the YouTube channel. We'll be happy to take questions at the end of the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Hamza. That was so nice. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to meet all of you. I just wanted to go over briefly what we'll be doing together if you're interested. So for this course, we'd love to go over college applications. It's awesome that some of you are interested in studying in the US and interested in improving your essays. So here I am to help you guys. So resumes, and I'd like to go into a deeper dive into an essay. How do you write an essay? How do you write a strong paragraph? How do you even hook the reader when you're giving, when you're telling your story? How do you stand out from the thousands of people that are applying to that college? And I think it's really cool that you're from Algeria, because already there, that's so interesting. We love international students, so we would love to hear about your background, about your stories. So yeah, that's what we go over as well. Also talking about sentence structure as we examine the main parts of an essay. And during this course, besides academic writing, we'll also go over the ACT and SAT. The different sections there, but mostly on writing. And then I'd also like to give you an opportunity to meet one-on-one if you would like, to get some feedback on your resume, cover letter, personal statement. And during class together, we'll also have chances to do some writing at home. And then when we come back to class, we can give each other feedback and give tips on how to improve that. Yeah, so that's kind of the overview of our class. Do you guys have any questions there? And by the way, I'm here to help you. So that is that's kind of the outline for the class, but please know that we can always change that based on how I can help you guys, based on what you want this class to be as well. So yeah, please know that I'm always open to feedback, and I would love to adjust the class that in the way that best helps you as well.
Perfect, thank you. So let's see if anybody has any questions, please drop them in the comments if you're on YouTube, or in the chat section if you're here with us. So everything's clear so far.
I'm so curious about everyone's background here, and what are your goals for this class? What are your educational goals? How can I help you?
Yeah, and I see one question from Amira who says that she's asking about the people who got the email invitations, whether they're accepted the course. Actually, that's a very good question, Amira. Thank you for asking that. And maybe I'll take that. I think the objective of this session is really just information to make sure you guys understand what's going to happen in the course, and we have a clear idea of expectations. This does not necessarily mean that you have been accepted into the course. And just so you know, what we'll be looking at in the next couple of weeks is your real interest and motivation in attending, and especially we'll be focusing on people who are looking to improve their skills, their writing skills, but also their interest in applying and studying in American universities, because that's part of the objective of the Education USA program. So that's what we'll be looking at in the next couple of weeks before we finalize the selection. So thank you, Anna. Of course. And so Robiana just asked about everybody's background, and I feel like feel free, anybody who wants to unmute themselves and speak. Since it's a small group, I think we'll be happy to take anybody who would like to.
Yes, like Hamza said, I would love to hear about your backgrounds, and even if you have anything to share about how this course can help you, or why you're interested in joining this course, that gives me a better idea of how I can tailor it to you. Or if you have questions for me as well, I'd love to answer them too. Oh, I see a hand raised.
Yeah, Shaina, go ahead, unmute yourself. And very good. We can't hear you. Shaina?
Oh, I see the microphone is unmuted, but we can't hear you yet. Keep trying. And also feel free to type the question too, if that works better.
Hi.
Hi, Shaina. Sorry, Malak.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Does the program include writing research paper?
Thank you for your question. So I wanted to take a kind of like a general look at writing. So how to write a good paragraph, how to make the sentence stronger, what is informal writing versus more academic and formal writing. So I wasn't specifically looking at a research paper, but I can include elements of that as well. I kind of wanted to see what the students wanted to work mostly on. So that's why I had a stronger focus on personal statements and cover letters, resumes, things like that, as well as a general overview of academic writing. But I do want to give students the option to write something at home. And then when we come together in class, if they would like to share some of what they wrote, then together as a class, based on what we learned from what makes a strong academic writing paragraph, things like that, then we can give feedback together. So not specifically research paper, but that can be something that we look at. And so this class is also based on what you make it. When you have the opportunity to write academic writing, it's your choice. If you want to do more personal statements, or if you want to do some of the research paper and get some feedback, you're welcome to do that as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else has any other questions?
I have questions for you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm so curious in your background, and what are your educational goals, especially for this course? What brought you here? Why are you interested? How can I help you? Oh, there's a comment in the chat. Oh, that's awesome. So nice to meet you, Amira. Thank you for your introduction. That's so great. About the Fulbright, that's awesome. Yes. Okay, so you want to improve your writing style and skills and be familiar with different types of writing? Yes, sure. We will definitely look at different samples, different writing samples, and we can analyze what was strong about those samples and what could be areas for improvement. And so I would love to share the different writing samples and get your critical thinking on it. There are some tips to make your writing stronger, but of course, to each person, a piece of writing can affect them differently. So what I love about this class is that there will be so many different minds together and so many different opinions, and we can really benefit from how you see the essay in addition to what are things that would make the essay stronger. So from the class, I would like it to be very collaborative, and we can learn from each other, and feel free to input your thoughts as well, because that helps us all get better. So there's also a question, is this program online or face-to-face like in a class? Thank you, Karim, for asking that question. So I'm based in Hawaii, and it'll all be virtual, but face-to-face through our little cameras. So it'll be like a live synchronous class virtually in the evenings for you, in the mornings for me. Okay, so I see another question. Thank you. Is this going to be a general approach to an essay writing or a detailed one? So I do want to start off generally, kind of breaking down the overview of academic writing, what makes it academic, what makes it informal. And then after we get an overview, because everybody comes at different points in their understanding, once we're kind of on the same page, then we can go more detailed, especially as I show you different samples of different academic writing. And as we analyze it, really go deeper and analyze it, then we're going into the details there. And then once we can analyze the different examples of academic writing, then we'll take it a next step further. And then I'll assign you some writing prompts that I would like you to respond to. And then we'll grab some of your writing prompts and then bring it in class. And then we don't have to put names there, but I would love to encourage participation so we can see a live piece of writing from someone in our class. And then we can go into the details and give constructive feedback. So whenever giving feedback, I really think it's important to say at least 3 things that you liked, and then at least 3 things that you can improve upon. And I know that can be hard sometimes to share constructive feedback or even to hear constructive feedback, but always know that that's the way that you will improve and that's the way that you will get better. And there's something so nice and so humbling to receive feedback from your peers, because those are your live reviewers, you know, and that's, yeah, it's really valuable to get feedback there. So yeah, so it is, so kind of to answer your question, it is general, but then we will go deeper, and then we'll go even further by personalizing the course as you submit pieces of writing and we can give feedback.
That's great. Thank you, Robiana. I don't know if, I mean, I don't want to anticipate. I don't know if you were planning to talk more about the SAT and ACT prep part of the course. But if not, that will be my next question.
Thanks for that question. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So we have the writing portion and then we have the test portion. I've heard from different fellows who have taught this that she experienced more of an emphasis on writing, that students were really they wanted to really improve their writing a lot. And because there is a writing section on the test, we will definitely jump into a deeper dive into writing. But also there are practice tests and there are some test tips that I would like to share with you. So we can go over the test tips. We can go do some practice tests together as well. And also I'm really open to what your needs are. So while I do have a general outline, that outline is not fixed and we can adjust it as you wish. But based on what I've been hearing about students' needs, there is a heavier focus on writing needed. So our academic writing section and our test section are not exactly cut and split. They kind of merge together because there is that writing component on the test as well.
Thank you so much. I think it's just an opportunity for us to reiterate that since this is part of the EduSA program, our hope is to help those who are interested in, applying for or studying in American universities. And so that's why we're trying to focus, with Robbie and I'm trying to focus on the academic writing part, but also in the ACT and SAT and ACT prep work. And we have another question here, right? That's a good question from China.
Okay, thank you. So the question is, what about SAT and ACT tests? What are the difference between them since they're mentioned in the training title? That's good. So on the ACT test, there's 4 main sections: the English, the reading, the math, and the science. And then for SAT, so the sections are quite similar, but the SAT has the reading, writing and language, math, and then an optional essay. And then so those are the main components that are different about them. But because there is that overlap in the English section and the writing section, that's the part that we'll focus more heavily on. I hope that answers your question.
Great, thank you.
And then, of course, like all of these sections are timed as well. And it covers, from the different sections, there are certain skills covered, like the grammar, usage, punctuation, sentence structure, strategy, organization, and style. So for example, those are things that we can also look at when we're talking about academic writing. Okay. I see another question too. Since you mentioned academic writing, I was wondering if we'll get to talk about creative writing and the differences between the 2 genres. Yes, so if that is your interest, yes, we can also mention that as well. And what I like about personal statements, I find them really fun and interesting, is basically when we write a personal statement, for example, for an entrance into college, we're telling our story, so while you should be, there should be elements of formality there, also because it's your story and because you want to stand out from so many applicants, there is definitely elements of creative writing in there. So as we examine different personal statements, I would love to show you how people are creative and people are like hooking the reader to draw them in. So definitely it's not so separate, like academic writing and creative. There are some overlap, and that is important. So yes, we will cover some of that as well. Good question.
Yeah, great question. Can I throw in another question while wait for other people?
Yes.
And I know you also, Rubini, also wanted to know more about our participants, right? So I hope they don't feel shy and they're going to share some of the information about themselves. But speaking of which, I know we've already mentioned that you are a virtual English language fellow with the USA Department. Do you mind sharing a little bit more about your background and how you ended up working on this project with Algerian participants?
That's a great question. Thank you. So it's okay. So my background is that I have been teaching English as a second language in many different parts of the world. So in 2005 is actually when I first got my first taste of teaching. And that was when I was at a university and I was teaching students that were from under-resourced schools in California. And so that was the pre-kindergarten age. And I just found it so enjoyable that I could be there to encourage people, to help them gain practical skills for growing up and for succeeding in school. And so after I graduated, I went to China, and there I taught students English, and we had conversation clubs, and we had a lot of experiential learning. So we would, for example, we cleaned up trash on the campus one day when we were learning about the environment. And then they were really interested in music. So I taught them a little bit of guitar and ukulele. And then we also went shopping, and then we would use English in the real world context. And then they would come to my apartment, and then we would cook together and have dinner together. And that was just a lot of fun too. I really believe that students learn best when they're having fun and when they're learning what interests them. I love creating classrooms where I bring something to the table, but also valuing what students bring to the table as well. So for this course, I invite all of you to really be engaged and a part of this classroom. And this classroom is going to be dynamic. It's going to be growing. I'm very flexible and wanting to hear what you're interested in. So anyway, after China, I taught in Hong Kong at a learning center, K through 12, and I helped students there also with test prep and academic writing and college essays. I also taught in Thailand at an orphanage over there, and some schools in the jungle of Thailand. And then afterwards, I taught at universities in Hawaii, a lot of international students. And then 3 years ago, I joined the Peace Corps, which is it's basically it's a part of the US government. It's where they send volunteers to different parts of the world, and then we serve in a particular area, a particular field. So my field was education. And then after teaching in the Philippines, I also taught on a cruise ship, and this was chartered by a Japanese non-governmental organization called Peace Boat. So on this cruise ship, I had private lessons and classes on board for the ship community, and we were teaching English too. So teaching has opened a lot of doors for me, and I'm happy to talk about each of those experiences more if you're interested as well. And I'd love to encourage you that there's so many great opportunities in the world, and even through World Learning and Education USA, the opportunity to study in a different country and in the US will be really enriching. I think it will open a lot of doors, and I'm so happy to get to be a part of this journey for you and to help you get you there.
That's great. That's very inspiring. Thank you so much, Robiana.
Thank you, Hamza.
Let's see, maybe we'll ask somebody to unmute themselves and share a little bit about themselves and what they expect from the course. What do you think? Okay, since Dimia,
Hi.
hi. Okay, there you go,
Hi.
Malek. Go for it.
Well, I'm Melek. I'm 19 years old, a third-year student. I study English in the university. So through this program, I want to improve my writing skills, especially essay writing, because my writing skills are not the best, and I want to be a teacher in the future. So this program is going to be a good opportunity to learn the essential things about essay writing. I wanna learn how to write an essay from different angles, from grammar to punctuation to everything about essay. So that's it. And I'm happy to be here with you.
Hi, Malik. Thank you so much for that awesome intro. It's so nice to meet you. And thank you for sharing what you're interested in learning through this course. I took some notes, and yes, we will definitely learn about the essential things about writing an essay. And yeah, thank you. We'll look at essays from different angles, also grammar as well. And I just want to emphasize again that in this course, for the course workload, do expect to do some writing because through our time together, I just don't want to talk about essays in an abstract way. We really learn by doing. So even in college, you can bring some of the essays that you've written before and we can zoom in and give you feedback as well. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. So nice to meet you.
Great. And I would like to invite Dimia Bunarab, if she could unmute yourself and tell us a little about yourself. Dimia, can you hear us?
Hello, hi, good evening. First of all, thank you, Rubiana, for sharing your story. It's really inspiring. My name is Dimi. I'm a biochemistry student. I don't know, maybe you'd say science, biochemistry, and writing, but I've always had, I don't know, a passion for writing. So I wanted to improve my writing skills, but at the same time, I wanted to improve also you mentioned academic writing. So I wanted to improve my academic writing in English because, you know, here in Algeria, we basically study everything in French. So I wanted to have a bit of an English professionalism, if I could say. So yeah, that's why I'm here and I'm very interested. It's a really interesting program and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Divya. It's so nice to meet you. I love that you're a science student and it's so great that you're really interested in this class. Yeah, it's so awesome that you guys are learning in French and in English and other languages too. It's wonderful. Thanks for your introduction.
Great. I think if anybody else would like to just unmute themselves and share a few words, they're welcome to. In the meantime, I have a final question maybe for Robiana, and it's a bit complex, Robiana. I think a very common question that we get from our participants and advisees is what usually makes a good academic writing, and how can you prepare for that? That's one part. But also, how can you prepare for a successful college application, and how can you best prepare for that as well? So I don't know if you could share some. I know you're going to be covering a lot of it during the course, but maybe just a little bit of a teaser about what they're going to see as participants. And then maybe we can come back and take some more people to share about their background.
Thank you for those questions. So let's see, what makes good academic writing and how to prepare for that? Well, there's certain language that we use when we are writing academic writing. And we'll definitely cover that more later. And that's a little bit stylistic too. There are, in general, some informal ways of saying things and then more formal ways of saying things, which is good for academic writing. Usually when I think of academic writing too, it involves research. So when you research good sources, you quote scholars who know about the topic, and of course you cite them properly. That's a very important part of academic writing too. And even when you look at the paragraph, a paragraph beginning, middle, and end, and it has a strong thesis statement or a topic sentence. In the middle, you have your supporting sentences to boost your argument or your perspective on a certain on a certain topic, and then you have a strong concluding sentences. And when you look at all of those paragraphs, how do they tie into the main thesis? What is your point of this whole essay? So we'll look at some things like that. And then also the second part of the question was, what makes a successful college application? Well, it's always good to have, you know, a checklist of what tests do you need, what letters of references do you need, but then it's also that essay, because, you know, when you think about a university, college, there's so many applicants and so many people are involved in different activities. You can get a lot of people that score very high on a test, but for me, and some other people may agree with this too, what really makes you stand apart is that personal essay. You know, anyone can get a high score. Anyone can be super involved in college and do so many things, but your essay is your story. That is your voice. And so that's why for this class in academic writing, that is what I really want to help you hone your skills in and help you to tell your story in a really powerful and engaging way.
That's great. Thank you so much, Fabiana. All right. I want us to invite maybe Karim so we can have some gender balance. Karim, would you like to open your mic and introduce yourself? Karim, can you hear us?
We'd love to hear from you, all of you.
Yeah. Nothing. So how about, oh, he says he's without a microphone right now. That's fine. Do you mind dropping some information about your background and what you expect from the course in the chat, Karim? And maybe we'll invite, how about Miriam Grady? Miriam? Got some shy people in the room. All right, well, that's fine. Any final words from you, Robiana? And maybe,
Oh, sorry.
no, I was just saying, yeah, go ahead.
I'm kind of curious, of the people here, how many are interested in studying in the US?
Excellent question. So if you're interested in studying in the US, thank you. Please go ahead and answer in the chat. Especially if you have, you know, if you've done anything about it, or if you plan on specific, you know, apply for specific universities or programs, let us know if you've taken any action. There you go, lots of people.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's an interest in studying in the US. Good. And we have a shy microphone.
Yeah, that was funny, shyness. It's good. And Karim has introduced himself. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Hi, Karim. He's a university student and I want to continue my education in the US. And I think this course will help me in writing my personal statement. Yes, that's great. Thank you for your introduction. Good. I'm so happy to hear that there's interest in studying in the US, because definitely you'll have to write a personal statement at some point. And I really enjoy honing that personal statement. I do want to share with you that I actually was a Rotary Ambassadorial Scholar. And so for that, and some other things, even for the Peace Corps, And for jobs that I've applied to, there always has been a personal statement or a cover letter. And through acceptances and through rejections, I've learned some things that I do want to share with you and to help you sharpen that up. Oh, good. So Dimya says, I think everyone on the Zoom call is interested. It's a chance to have a better education program and to improve as a person. Yeah, that's so true. When we go abroad, when we engage in different cultures, when we jump out of our comfort zone, we definitely grow. That's how we grow. Awesome. I agree. Amira, I'm interested in applying for various majors, mainly related to my field of study, like English literature, computational linguistics, or any fields related to language studies, also in leadership and management. Oh, awesome. There's such a range of backgrounds here, and we're all united for this interest in studying abroad and improving writing. And I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's great. Well, any concluding words from your end, Robiana? Oh, there we go. We have Miriam.
Hello.
Hi, Miriam.
Hi. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was in mute because of the connection. I have really bad connection. So sorry for this.
Okay. So happy we can hear you now.
Sorry?
Oh, we're happy that we can hear you now.
Yeah, great. So I'm happy too.
Miriam, what is your background and what are your hopes for this course? What are your interests?
Because I've been studying English for, you can say 10 years now.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I would like to make PhD in one of the US universities. So that's why I was interested to attend that kind of talk in order to know what I'm supposed to do for future endeavors. So that's why I'm here today.
Thank you. That's really great. I love that goal of yours to have a PhD in the US. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. The more that I learn from you guys, the clearer understanding I have of how I can help you. And that helps me to tailor the class a little bit more towards your interests. Thank you for sharing all that you did. So Mira has a question about, are there any Zoom meetings in the upcoming days? I'll let Hamza respond to that.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Amira. So I think the objective of this session was just to provide overall information, just to make sure people know what they're signing up for. And so the course will actually start on October 21st. Did I get that right, Robina? I think yes. October 21st. And so it's going to be the first session that you're going to have with Robiana. And so if you're selected for the course, we will be contacting you in advance, at least a few days in advance, and then we will let you know that you've been selected, and then we'll send you the information to join the Zoom meeting. Which takes us to a very good point. I think the schedule has been posted on the application form. So if you haven't already applied, please go ahead and apply. We'll send the link in the chat in a minute. But then also that same link includes the dates. So I think we're going to have classes every Monday and Thursday from, am I helping me, Robin, is it 7 to 9?
Sorry, I muted myself. Yes, that's correct, 7 to 9.
7 to 9 every Monday and Thursday from October 1st to December 2nd. So it's going to be about 6 weeks. So looking at probably 12 sessions with Robiana. And like she said, we're also going to have some individual sessions with those of you who need some personalized feedback and assistance. So that's going to be also part of the program. I hope that answers your question, Amira. And I just sent the link to the, sorry. for everyone. For the link to the application form for those who haven't already applied. I feel like a lot of the people who are on the session, they have already applied because Facebook is down. So I think email was the way we got you to join the class, this session today. But if you haven't already applied, please go ahead and fill out that application form. Right. And so I think, I don't know if you have anything else to say about this, Robiana, but I was going to wrap up with some next steps for all of us here.
That sounds great. You can take it away.
Cool. So I think for next steps, again, if you haven't applied, please go ahead and do it now. Maybe for those of us watching on YouTube, we'll include the link maybe in the description so that everybody can apply if they see this video afterwards. But in the meantime, if you have any emails, please reach out to us. I think there is my email directly, or Yusri, who has just sent you an email. But also feel free to reach out to us through our Education USA Algeria webpage or World Learn Algeria, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. We really hope to see more applications, and we hope to see you all in the course. Remember, starting October 21st.
That was so perfect. Thank you, Hamza.
Of course. And so I would like to thank everyone who joined us today, and special thanks to Ms. Robiana Leon. I don't know if you have any, closing words that we can wrap this up with.
Well, I just want to say that all of you are welcome, and I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to help you with your writing and to help you reach those academic goals. This class is for you, just to emphasize that again. So please always feel free to give me feedback about the class, give me more information about what you need so I can help you, because I'm here for you guys. So yeah, just know that. And thank you again. I'm very excited to learn about Algeria and your culture. So please share with me too. And I'm happy to share about my culture as well, being Chinese American and being from Hawaii.
Yeah, and I feel like, one thing we're going to expect you to do if you're selected for the course is to be proactive and participate as much as possible in all of those sessions. So we'll count on that.
Yes, for sure. Like any experience, an experience is what you make of it. So if you come to class and you're ready to share your writing, ready to give feedback, be okay about receiving and giving constructive feedback, that's going to help our class accelerate even more. So please come ready to participate, ready to give the best you can, and ready to receive a lot too.
That's perfect. Well, with that, I would like to thank everybody again, and I wish you all a happy evening. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I think enjoy the rest of, this is just your morning, Robiana, right?
Yes.
For those who don't know, it's an 11-hour difference, so our evening is our early morning.
A great way to start my day. It was so nice.
Well, so thank you, everyone. Take good care, and goodbye.